Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we are going to be talking, of course, Kylian Mbappé. We're also going to be talking about the unfortunate injury which already ruled him out for the last two games, but Arda Güler will officially not be um, playing against Barcelona at the time of recording. It's still a few hours away from the Barcelona game. In fact, I'm recording this midnight at 1 a.m. By the way, so that's why today's video is slightly late. And his injury could be very serious. If it's a serious injury, it could be months, and some other bits as well. But the main topic, the main headlines, as surprising as it may sound, it's obviously Kylian Mbappé. Let's hear and read the latest on Mbappé. Now, this was yesterday, I believe, but Fabrizio Romano gave us a bit of an update on Kylian Mbappé. Here it is. Al Hilal tried in the last 24 to 48 hours to improve the offer for Kylian Mbappé to change his mind, but his answer was still no. Now, if you don't remember or forgot what the offer Al Hilal gave, let's have a recap. So Al Hilal offered PSG 300 million euros, the world record fee, for the player. Now, in terms of PSG and Al Hilal, both clubs are on the same page. The deal is done if it's down to these two clubs. But the problem is that Mbappe himself has said no. Now, apparently that personal terms, the wages that he would get if he was to sign with Al Hilal, including commercial deals, would add up to about 700 million euros a year for 1 year, because he's going to sign for a 1 year deal. Now, think about it. If you divide 700 by 12, it would roughly be about 14 million a month. A week, sorry, 14 million a week. Wait, is it? I mean, I can't remember, but it was actually about 2 million euros a day. Like a day, he gets 2 million euros a day by going to Saudi. That is about 40 million a week. That's 48 million euros a month. It's something like that. It's something crazy like that, right? It's about 2 million euros a day. Now, that offer has been rejected. Now, a lot of people have been like, are you out of your mind? How can you reject that? But I think Mbappe, as much as he has played with PSG and Real Madrid in the past, he is a sensible player. He's a sensible person. He knows that if he goes to Saudi now, the chances of him winning the Champions League and the Ballon d'Or is going to be tough. Now, a lot of people will be saying, but they will let him come back after 1 year. That's not going to happen. If you have got a player like Mbappe on your hands in the Saudi League, that they're trying to make the best league in the world, with all the money they have, they don't care if they're paying him 700 million euros a year or 2 million euros a day. They just want him there. They just want the fame and the popularity that he'll give. So if they can keep him on 1 year, next year they could say, oh, we're going to give you 800 million euros a year, because they've got all the money in the world to burn. And that is Saudi. There's a Saudi league in a nutshell. And for Mbappe, he knows that he's currently trapped, and he has been trapped in this PSG environment. If he goes to the Saudi league, that's him no longer coming back to Europe, and that's him trapped in the Saudi league and trapped in Al Hilal. So he has to make a wise decision, and his decision has been wise because he has said no. Now, that really doesn't mean anything with Real Madrid, because this is just Al Hilal and PSG. But let's move on um, higher up here. Kylian Mbappe's biggest dream remains the same, joining Real Madrid. You can, believe it if you want. Personally, I don't. I think that this dream could have happened 12 months ago. It did not happen 12 months ago. It could have happened 18 months ago. It did not happen 18 months ago. It's almost like, is it even a dream? Who knows? But let's see. Real Madrid's silence in Mbappe saga is a crucial part of their strategy. They want to win this saga in their own way. It does work. It does work because PSG are desperate to sell Mbappe and they want offers to come in. Real Madrid being silent would make PSG lower their asking price because, look, if we move on to one of the top ones here, like if you move on to this, the 250 million euros wanted by PSG is higher than what Real Madrid would pay, and then you go back, right? Real Madrid do not want to pay that. Of course, we just read that, which is why they are silent, because they're not gonna go with a bid because it will instantly get rejected. But they're gonna keep silent here because if by, let's say, 2 weeks into August, Real Madrid have not put a bid in, and Mbappe still only wants Real Madrid, and PSG are still desperate to sell, PSG would go, you know what? Fine, we'll lower the asking price. We will ask for 200 million euros instead. Now, if that is the case, it goes into the hands of Real Madrid and their plan. Because if you talk about everyone in this table, imagine you have a table, right? You've got Al Hilal, you got Mbappe, you got Real Madrid, you got PSG. PSG have the weakest negotiating part to play in this table, because whatever they do, it does not mean that you'll go their way. If you know what I'm saying, like they could sell Mbappe, they could let another club come in to talk to Mbappe, but it does not mean he will leave this summer. He could still hold out and stay for free and leave for free next season, next summer. And if PSG really want to sell this summer, they can't be very demanding. They have to almost say, you know what, Real Madrid, if you're gonna offer us 140, 150, we'll have to take it. If by, I would say, 1.5, 2 weeks of August, nothing has been sorted, and if we are still in the same position 2 weeks into August, that has to be done, because PSG are not going to let him stay, knowing that he's not going to sign a new contract, knowing that he'll leave on a free. They would rather take 100 million, 150 million euros. That is for sure. But let's go up anyways. PSG just want any club to arrive. We have known that, to put the money and get Kylian Mbappé. They don't want to continue together and let him leave for free in 2024. Now the crucial point is Real Madrid. Once again from Fabrizio Romano. And here it was from Caprio Marca. As we just read, let's do it again. The 250 million euros wanted by PSG is higher than what Real Madrid will pay, which is understandable. Also from Caprio Marca, Real Madrid and PSG will not speak directly. The talks will happen through intermediates. Of course, the relationship between both clubs are not good. And a few days ago, this story came out that we actually went through, that an intermediate was hired to talk to both parties. So we know that. And here for Marca, new Real Madrid want to reduce Kylian Mbappe's price to 225 million euros, or they're willing to wait for another year. Now this is what I mean, right? This is what I mean, because this is Real Madrid holding the power compared to PSG. Now Mbappe holds the most power on the table, but Real Madrid have more power than PSG, because Real Madrid can say either you reduce the price or we'll wait for 1 year for him to come for free. So PSG have almost got to act accordingly to Real Madrid. in a way, right? And then we've got another one from Arancho Mobile, a very reliable source, by the way, reliable journalist, if I had to say so. But Real Madrid is not willing to pay PSG's asking price of 250 million euros for Mbappé, right? Further clarification on top of what Marca said. And last but not least, from Javi Jerez, a Kylian Mbappé arrival normally would mean a departure of an important player, maybe not this summer, but the next summer, because I believe Mbappé will be closed at the end of August. This is always how Real Madrid have always operated from El Aguero. But I would say that if you are talking about the important player who has left for Real Madrid, remember, Karim Benzema has already left. Now, this is interesting because it does say that if you were to get Mbappe in, it would normally mean an important player leaves, right? And there has been a Benzema who has left. So I wonder if that is what they're trying to relate. That maybe this might be the summer because Benzema has already left and Mbappe could be the player who arrives. But let's see what happens. I mean, look, overall, bit of a recap because that is a lot to take in. PSG asking price of 250 million euros is not going to be met by Real Madrid. Real Madrid hold all the power and they're willing to go maybe 225, maybe lower. But they're saying, you know what? Either we lower this price or we'll walk out and we'll send him next summer for free. Mbappe himself has already rejected Al Hilal and he's still not interested in Al Hilal. So this is a direct negotiation, maybe not direct talks, but this negotiation through the intermediate that was hired is between PSG and Real Madrid now. I don't think it's going to be Al Hilal, considering Mbappe already rejected the proposal. Now again, Al Hilal, I think they will come in with maybe even a 1 billion euros per year bid because, like I said, they have money to burn. They don't care. They are willing to go as high as they want. Fair enough. But I think that if you're talking about purely football-wise, Mbappe would choose Real Madrid. And I just think that this case has to be sorted. Whether he joins or not, it has to be done in the next 2 weeks. Because we are already on the 30th of July when I'm recording, right? We go to the 31st, and then we are in August, right? So we have 2 days until we're in August. And if this deal is still not done by the 15th maximum, you have to look at it going, this deal surely isn't on anymore. Now this deal currently is still on, but by the 15th, if nothing has changed and nothing has been done, I would say that deal is off. So the two clubs have 2 weeks, the last final 2 weeks, to make a deal happen. That's my opinion. But let me know what your thoughts are down below. I got a bit of news for you guys here. Real Madrid official statement, they put this out. After the test carried out on our player Arda Güler, he has been diagnosed with an injury to the internal meniscus of his right knee. The player will travel to Madrid in the next few hours to continue with specific treatment. What a shame. I mean, he's just joined and he's already picked up an injury. Wishing Arda, speedy recovery. I'm hoping that this isn't a very, very, very serious injury. Let's hope that it's not serious, because a serious injury to his right knee could take him out for a few months, really. But let's see. And I just want to end off with a interesting stat from the transfer market, I believe it is, yeah. On the most money spent by leagues this summer. Obviously, you got the Premier League on the top with 1.3 billion. Serie A actually second with half a billion spent. These are in euros, by the way, so the calculation might be a bit different. So it's not in pounds; it's in euros. Liga with 456 million euros. Bundesliga with 448.2 million euros. The Saudi League with 300 million euros. And La Liga, all the way at the bottom, with just 249 million euros. 250 million euros. And 100 of it was on Jude Bellingham. Yeah, nearly half of what has been spent has been on one player, and that has been Jude Bellingham. Now that tells you a lot on what you need to know. That La Liga, financially, as a league, are not doing well. Yes, Real Madrid spend the most and have the capability to. Barcelona might be able to, but obviously they have their own financial issues. Atletico don't usually spend a lot. And if you look at these three, take them away, the other 17 teams in the league are either clubs that sell their players for a lot of money to reinvest in young players, someone like a Villarreal, they sell their, good players for lots, and then they bring in players for cheap to become the next big thing. So they are a buy low, sell high club, or they're just clubs that have no money, like the bottom of the league clubs. Like the bottom league clubs in La Liga are basically not spending anything. They're probably spending 2 million euros as a transfer window because they just have no money to spend. So take away Bellingham, take away Arda Güler for about 20, right? So half of it has been spent by Real Madrid. 19 clubs have spent the other half of 120 million euros. Now I actually want to do some math calculation because I'm intrigued. So 120, let's give it 130, because why not? 130 divided by 19, each club have spent on average, it's not how much they've spent, but it's on average 6.8 million euros, right? And we know Barcelona brought in Gundogan for free, so that maybe frees up a bit, but 6.8 million euros by each club, right? And then you compare these two, obviously, Premier League, 1.3 billion, right? You divide it into 20, how much is that? That's 1.3 billion divided by 20. Each club have spent 65 million euros. Now the Premier League, each club have spent on average 65 million euros. La Liga, each club has spent about 6.8 to 7 million euros. Now that tells you the difference in the quality of leagues, because in terms of financially, La Liga can't compete with the Premier League, with the Serie A, with the Liga, with the Bundesliga, with the Saudi League. And that will drastically affect the footballing as well, because if you can't compete financially, you can't bring in the top players into the league, you can't compete with the commercials, with how much you bring in, because these top players, superstars, are leaving, and you don't really have much left to generate the popularity and interest as the other top 4, top 5 leagues. And in terms of the footballing quality wise, each club losing their top players and not being able to replace them, this is very, very, very serious for La Liga. And Tebas can say things like, we want to sanction Real Madrid, or not care about the racism that's happening to Vini Jr. and in fact basically every La Liga player that is black, basically, that has experienced racial abuse. We've seen it before with Diakabe of Valencia, but you've never seen these actually being addressed as an issue. But forget about all these. The league itself is going to die. Like, I'm not even kidding. But without Real Madrid, each club has spent 6.8 million euros. Like, that is horrendous. So something needs to happen here. Something needs to happen here. If not, we just watch La Liga die. We watch La Liga die because, for me, it's always been La Liga has been trying to be in the top two, top three in terms of financially and on the footballing side especially. But I think if they don't do well and they can't compete financially, they're not going to be able to compete in terms of the football qualities. And if you're comparing this to the other top five leagues, eventually La Liga will drop, down in the pecking order, and they will be behind the Serie A, the League, and the Bundesliga, maybe the Saudi League, maybe even the Portuguese League will overtake La Liga one day. But this is very, very serious. But let me know what your thoughts are down below. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Hit the like button if you did. Subscribe, turn the show on already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.